Hello, everybody. Well, that was great for Miss Taylor doing the first part of the video. I'm going to finish off on the second part. It's just a straight up YouTube video, so I'm going to go over these together. And then after this, you guys should have plenty of time to start your homework. So my goal is that you guys have no homework over the weekend, so you can hopefully get started on this right now, okay? So let's start about this. Miss Taylor went over this that said when we are dividing these, we are literally just subtracting our exponents. Now let's remember why. An expanded form d to the fourth is just d times d times d times d all over d to the ninth, and that is literally multiplying 9 d's together. So d times d times d, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now remember, d is just an unknown number, right? So d is just an unknown number, and any number divided by itself is just 1. So it kind of just reduces and turns to 1. So d over d, simplify. And then d over d, simplify. D over d, simplify. And d over d, simplify. And now I look at this. When I have nothing left on the denominator, remember, d divided by d is just 1. These basically don't cancel off and go to 0. They turned into 1. So I'm going to have 1 on the numerator, and then I just count this. D times d times d times d times d will simplify to d to the 5th power. Okay, so 1 over d to the 5th power. All right, on to the next one. When I look at the next one, I have 3 parts here. I have 5 over 10, which is just like a regular old fraction, 5 over 10. The next one, I'm going to have f to the 7. It's a lot of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. G to the second, which is g times g. Now on the bottom, I'm going to have f to the 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then g right here. Now, guys, this is the last time I'm going to write this out in expanded form, and we're just going to go over how to do that shortly using subtraction. So when I look at this, I'm going to treat the 5 over 10 just like a regular old fraction. We're not crossing them off. We're not subtracting. We're just doing 5 over 10. And 5 over 10 would reduce to 1 over 2. Now with the f's, here I'm going to cross them off. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 1 f left on the denominator. And then when I simplify my g's, I'm going to have 1 g left on the numerator. So this will equal 1g on the numerator, which is the same as just g, all over 2f. Okay? So that's the last time I'm going to write this out. And what I want you to notice is I'm basically just subtracting these values. So now here we go. I'll do one more sorry, I lied. I'm going to do one more with these x's. 2, 3, 4. When I write it out in expanded form. And there's a specific reason here. Here, I'm going to treat these numbers as 6 over 2, which reduces to just 3. And then 6 divided by 6, or excuse me, x divided by x, these just all cancel each other out. And I'm left with just 3. Okay, guys. What I wanted you to notice from what Miss Taylor was doing and myself is when I cross these out and I write them in expanded form, I'm essentially subtracting these. So if I did 9 minus 4, that gave me 5. And I look, do I have more d's on the numerator or the denominator? In this instance, I had more on the denominator, so it was just d to the 5th. Here, with my f's, I crossed them off, but if I were to do 8 minus 7, I would have 1 f left over, and I would have 1 left over on the bottom because 8 is greater than 7. Similar with the g's, I had g to the second over g to the invisible 1. And if I subtracted 2 minus 1, I would have 1g left on top because 2 is greater than 1. So we can do that same process here. All right, I look at these. All I'm going to do is I have my n's. I'm going to do 3 minus 2, and that's going to give me 1n. Now I need to decide, do I place it on the numerator or the denominator? Well, I got more left over on top, so I'm going to put n on the numerator. Now I move over to my y's. I'm going to have y to the 4th minus y to the 2nd, which will give me 2. Do I have more on top or more on the bottom? Well, I have more on the top, so it'd be y to the 2nd. let's go and look at these now. I have m to the 7th over m to the 2nd. So I would do m to the 7th minus minus to the 2nd. And I'm basically kind of crossing them off, and I would give me m to the 5th. And I figured out, oh, I have more on top than I do the bottom, so I would put m to the 5th on top. Now in blue, same idea. Where do I have more? Do I have more on the top or the bottom? It's like, oh, I have more on the denominator. So this would be n to the 7th minus to the 2nd on the denominator, which would give me a final answer of m to the 5th, which did not change. And then I would have n to the 5th, because I have more on the bottom than I do on the top. Okay, last one. First, I have 18 over 16. I just treat this as 8 over 16, which reduces to 1 over 2. I'm going to put 1 over 2 right here. My next part is I look at my x's, and I'm like, all right, what do I have more, top or bottom? And I have 9 on the bottom and 5 on the top. So I'm going to subtract them, and I'm going to keep it on the bottom because there are more there on the bottom than there on the top. And similar to the y's, oh, I got more y's on the top, so it'd be y to the 9th minus y to the 5th. This would give me a final answer of 1 y to the 4th, or just y to the 4th, all over 2x to the 4th. Okay? So hopefully this was helpful between my lesson and the one Miss Taylor did. If you have any questions, please see me today after school, and I will be more than happy to get back to you.